I've been in therapy with Dr. Moore for 3.5 years, working through the crippling fear of dogs that's ruled my life for as long as I can remember. I can't walk down the street without crossing to the other side if I see a dog, even a tiny chihuahua. I can't go to friends' houses if they have a pet. I've turned down dates because someone mentioned they had a puppy, and I've had to quit 3 different barista jobs because regulars brought their dogs into the shop. The core memory I've repeated in every single session is my 7th birthday at my Grandpa Joe's farm. I can still feel the German Shepherd's teeth sinking into my leg, the weight of him dragging me across the muddy yard, the sound of my whole family laughing while I screamed, saying I was overreacting, that the dog was just playing. I've spent years unpacking the terror, the abandonment, the way that moment turned every dog into a monster. Last week, I was telling her I couldn't go to my best friend's wedding because she was having her 2 dogs at the ceremony, and she did something she's never done before. She closed her notebook, set her pen down, and looked at me with this soft, sad expression I'd never seen. "Lila," she said, slow and careful, "who told you that memory was real?" I laughed, because it was absurd. Of course it was real. I lived it. I still have the faint scar on my calf that I've always said was from the bite. I can still taste the dirt in my mouth, the sharp pain of the teeth, the sound of my grandpa's deep laugh over everyone else's. I told her all that, but she didn't smile back. "Lila, your grandpa's German Shepherd, Max, died 2 years before your 7th birthday. You told me that in our very first session. He got hit by a car when you were 5. They didn't have any other dogs on the farm that year. No dog. No attack." My blood ran cold. I opened my mouth to argue, but nothing came out. She was right. I remember Max dying. I cried for days. We buried him in the farm's backyard, under the oak tree. There was no other dog after that. Not for years. "I've been waiting for the right time to bring this up," she said, pulling out a folder I'd never seen before. "You've told this story in almost every session for 3.5 years, but the details keep shifting. First, you said it was a German Shepherd. Then a year ago, you said it was a Golden Retriever. 6 months ago, you said the dog didn't bite you, just knocked you down and barked. I documented every single change. My hand started shaking so bad, I dropped my water bottle. That wasn't true. The memory was always the same. It had to be. I think someone planted this memory," she said gently. "When you were young enough that you couldn't tell the difference between what really happened and what someone told you happened over and over, to cover up something else. Something traumatic that really happened at your 7th birthday party." She asked if I'd call my grandma Eleanor right there, in the session. My hands were trembling as I dialed, and she answered on the 3rd ring. Dr. Moore put it on speaker and asked her about my 7th birthday. If anything traumatic happened that day. There was a long pause. Then my grandma said, "Quiet. We had a small party at the farm. Just family. Your grandpa was so excited to see you." "Lila has a very vivid memory of being attacked by a dog that day," Dr. Moore said, dragged across the yard, while everyone watched. My grandma went completely silent. I could hear her breathing, ragged, over the line. Then she whispered, voice cracking, "There was no dog. But something did happen. Your grandpa took you up to the hayloft, during the party, to show you the new kittens. I went up to find you, and you were crying, your dress torn. He said you'd fallen off the hay bales, that you were just scared of the kittens. He kept telling you, over and over, that a dog had attacked you in the yard. I heard him, that night, tucking you in, repeating it, and I didn't stop him, because he was my husband. We'd been married 40 years. I didn't want the town to talk. I didn't want to lose everything." The room tilted. I couldn't breathe. Grandpa Joe was my favorite person in the whole world. He taught me how to use a camera, how to ride a horse. He died 2 years ago, and left me his entire vintage camera collection, the one I use for all my design work. I cried for months when he died, thinking I'd lost my safe place. Doctor Moore reached over and squeezed my hand. "Your brain made up that dog attack to protect you from what really happened. And your grandpa helped it along, to cover up what he did. I'm not scared of dogs. I never was.